My name is Fabien Mortier. I am Key Account Manager at Constellium for the automotive sector, and I am also for a few years now the sustainability coordinator of the team. The transport sector is one of the biggest contributors to climate change. It's more than 23% of the emissions worldwide. Most countries have decided to introduce ICE bans, so ICE cars will not be sold on the market, for example, starting 2025 in Norway or 2035 in Europe. The ban of the ICE, so internal combustion engine, is a significant step and a shorter step for automotive OEM. The development of a car and the lifetime of a project is quite long. So for the development, it's 2-3 years. And for the lifetime of a car on the market, it's 5 to 10 years. So automotive manufacturer has to consider already today that the cars that will be on the market still in 2035 have to comply with this new regulation. To consider carbon neutrality, you have to look at the complete life cycle assessment of an automotive. The electrification is very important to reduce the greenhouse gas emissions during the use phase, but is doing nothing to improve the emissions during the production phase. It even has a contrary effect because the emissions during the production phase are increased due to the fabrication of the battery of the car. So if we really want to achieve carbon neutrality, we have to look at both. We have to reduce the emissions during the use phase, that is being done with electrification, but we also have to reduce the emissions during the production phase. And this is where the materials and the way they are produced comes into play. So we are talking a lot about greenhouse gas emission, but greenhouse gases are only a part of the climate crisis and the environmental crisis we are suffering. One of the important criteria is resource preservation. We cannot achieve greenhouse gas reduction if we achieve it through a significant increase of resource uses. Therefore, circularity is another very important criteria when it comes to sustainability. So, aluminium has a certain number of advantages in regards to circularity. Provided that you can collect scrap and sort the scrap, you can reuse it for the same applications while saving a significant quantity of energy compared to the production of primary aluminium. Furthermore, we are currently making a lot of progress in different technologies, such as sorting of scrap and also on scrap collection as well. And this ensures that in the future we will have access to other sources of scrap that are considered today as not being suitable for the use in the automotive manufacturing. So in the past, automotive OEMs were used to consider a certain number of criteria when choosing a material for an application. These criteria could be, for example, mechanical property, lightweighting properties, or simply cost of the material being used. Automotive OEMs have now a new set of expectations on their product, and we are answering these new expectations by working on 3 different areas. The first one is the greenhouse gas emission of our manufacturing process and the manufacturing process upstream. The second area of improvement is the use of more and more recycled materials in our product. And the third area is about using renewable electricity for the production process of primary aluminium. Each OEM has its own strategy regarding sustainability, but that being said, we can identify a certain number of trends that are common to most of them. One is, of course, electrification to reduce the greenhouse gas emissions during the use phase of a vehicle. The other alternatives like e-fuels or hydrogen do not play a significant role for now. OEMs are looking on how to decarbonize their production process. They start first with their own direct emissions and then have a look at the upstream emissions, especially the materials being used to produce cars. There is a greater focus also on the upstream supply chain, from the mine to the car. OEMs are also working on the design of the car itself to allow better recyclability at the end of the use phase, for example. And finally, the last one is really to work on ethical standards when it comes to environment and social responsibility. Climate change is a reality that nobody can ignore now, especially if we are looking ahead and what will happen in the next 20 to 30 years. It is mandatory to consider that change and to consider that what is accepted today will not be anymore accepted in the future. Constellium can play its own role in this evolution to ensure that in 30 years we are still manufacturing cars but that are compatible with the future expectations.